Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of Yocho Senki episode 11, and they brought it this week. I don't think I've given a perfect score to any episode of this show yet, have I? I might have, but I don't think I have. And either way, holy crap, this was their best episode so far. One scene could have made this their best episode so far. But I'll go through it and talk about it part by part. But this is the first episode of anime this season. I've loved Maid Dragon and been smiling and laughing pretty much every episode, and just loved my time and just got sucked into it. But this is the first episode of something this season where I was literally just mouth open smiling, just dying at a scene, just freaking out with hype. Oh man, it was so good. But let's go through it. At first, I was like, okay, Ripperoni grunts, he gets shot, we saw from the last episode. We had kind of a weirdly long recap, but I get that they had to build the tension back up a bit. One thing that I thought was funny is just these little things you notice here and there if you're watching something closely. Ansem shoots his first gun, then just tosses it to the side, and I'm like, I hate that. The one other time that something like that has happened that I can remember that really pissed me off was, if any of you guys saw the movie, I think it was Snow White and the Huntsman was the name of the movie. It had the chick from Twilight in it. But there's this scene, the big finale action scene's going on. She's going to confront the queen or whatever. And she's running up these stone steps for a year. This huge spiral staircase. She's got her sword, her shield, and she's just chugging up these steps. Then she makes it to the top of the steps. Sees the queen and her magic soldier things in front of her. Throws down the shield and starts going towards her. I'm like, why did you just carry that big heavy metal shield all the way up the stairs? If you're gonna get to the enemy, then throw the shield down. And that's what I saw. Ansem fire the gun, then he threw it to the side. I was like, what is this, Ansem? What are you pulling here? Also, I really like the battle music in this fight. And, God, that battle scene was just too freaking good. Also, before we got into the opening, we flashed to a bunch of the enemies' faces, and I even put in my notes, I was like, why does every enemy have such pretty eyes? Everybody had these really light-colored eyes, and I'm like, what? And they stood out from the art. I was like, why do they all have such pretty eyes? But Tanya's group starts getting overwhelmed in numbers as the fight goes on, but apparently they can take higher altitudes and use that to their advantage. So they escape into the clouds, and then Tanya goes totally apeshit on the enemy. And man, the sound was so good. My god, that was some of the best part of this fight. Just the sound was so raw and gritty. And oh man, the animation was so good too. This is the best animation the episodes had, or the shows had by far. And it kept changing style to a bunch of different slightly different animation styles, and it was really, really cool. I thought it was a really pretty scene. I was just I was really enjoying that fight scene, but it just kept getting better. Ansem's apparently using this illegal trench gun, whatever, and then I was like, okay, R.I.P. Fatty and Ponytail. I think their names are actually Koenig and Newman. Is that their names, Koenig and Newman? But I was just like, Fatty and Ponytail. That's just what I've been calling them to myself this entire show so far. So Weiss is then in danger, and Tanya takes the hit for him again. Seeing Tanya become more of a good person, takes the hit to save Weiss. And then her rage fighting Ansem, where she just stabs him and he grabs her arm, and she is screaming. That rage was just so good. I was like, that scene, I was freaking out. And then Victoria for the win shoots him from behind. I'm freaking out even more. And then his death with just all the bullets coughing up blood, the explosions, all of that was just so friggin' incredible. I freaked out so much during that death scene. Just that fight, that death was so great. And I was honestly, I wasn't expecting Victoria to be the one to have shot him. I was expecting it to be Weiss to be like, yo, payback for when Tanya helped me out there. But either way, it was so freaking cool. We find out Grunts, Fatty, and Ponytail all made it out alive. So GG, whatever, they're fine. Then we see 15 days later, Magic France is essentially no more. They are donezo. The Empire has taken their city in peace, and they have withdrawn from it, or their capital city, of course. And when they had the strategy meeting, they joke around okay, it's because they didn't want us to destroy the pretty architecture or anything, or the I forget the specific word they used, but you guys know what I mean. The look of the city, the aesthetic. I believe that was probably the word they used. So the Empire then plans to sort of negotiate peace with them by taking some of their overseas colonies. Tanya then visits the church, which was a nice little scene, and we see her still struggling with, seeing the kids fighting and stuff. What is war? What is peace? She's still struggling and everything. Tanya's men are on vacation. I thought that was funny. I was like, what is this weird fan service? When Tanya gets the information from Victoria and she has that thinking face and it just focused on her face, that I laughed quite a bit at that. I was like, what is the thinking face? So apparently she surmises that the Republic army is fleeing with help from the Allied Kingdom, and of course that is the truth behind it. And she knows from history that this is going to wreck them. It's going to come back on them because they're going to go away. Their government, after the land being taken, the government's going to go team up with the Allied people, maybe team up with the good old USA, and they're going to come back and smash us just like they did in, well, I mean, I guess that's similar to what happened in World War II, and I guess that's probably how Tanya knows, yeah, this isn't going to work. They're going to go rebuild their strength with their allies, counterattack, and take what we took back. And this war, even though it's like the war has stopped for now, but the war is going to continue going. It's not about winning or losing. We don't care about this land. It's about the war continuing on when we have a chance to end it. So just Tanya is like freaking out, thrown into despair because they're not allowed to attack, and knowing that the war is going to come back when everybody else who doesn't know anything about World War I or World War II, because they were in another universe, of course, they just don't know how this is going to play out. So yeah, I thought just the fight scene there with Anson and his forces against Tanya and her forces, the coolest freaking... Just, I love the animation too of when Tanya's just flying through, smashing all these different soldiers and stuff. And then when she hits Anson, the two of them are fighting in the smoke. So good. Damn, this was such a good episode. 10 out of 10 magic gunfights. 10 magic gunfights out of 10. Just for that one scene, I would give it a 10 out of 10. The animation and sound as well. Usually the animation and sound are good, but I thought it was better than usual. I thought they stepped up their game even on that. And this leaves me to wonder what next episode will even be. So they could go a couple different places. They really didn't hint us at much. Yeah, really didn't hint much for us. So I'm assuming this time Anson's finally actually dead, but holy damn, that freaking death, that fight was so cool. I'm going to have to rewatch it tonight. I didn't have time to rewatch it before recording this. Either way though, hope you guys enjoyed this video, this review. Like if you did like it, comment down there, tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on all this. Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe for more Yojo Senki and more, I guess. Covering anime next season. Going to be covering Attack on Titan Season 2, Boku no Hero Academia Season 2, and Clockwork Planet. Also continuing covering Little Witch Academia. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there as over the channel. That is it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.